Hello everyone, let me show you right off the bat why programs exist in the first place and what we mean by the anatomy of value. When you look at the official study guide, program value is defined as the net quantifiable and non-quantifiable gain realized from the outputs, outcomes and benefits delivered by a program to satisfy stakeholder needs and strategic objectives. Now, in very simple words, program value is just like planting a whole apple orchard instead of buying a single apple from the grocery store. Buying one apple gives you an immediate short-term snack, but planting an orchard gives you continuous baskets of apples year after year, shade on hot days, and even wood and honey, providing long-term lasting richness to your entire property. Think of it like this. I remember consulting for a global logistics firm where the executive team initially wanted to buy a fleet of brand new delivery trucks. If they just bought trucks, that is a simple project expense. But when we stepped back and redesigned it into a supply chain modernization program, the value wasn't just metal trucks on wheels. It was faster delivery times, lower fuel consumption, happier drivers, and a 20% jump in customer satisfaction ratings. That is the deep anatomy of value. So now that we've mastered how value goes far beyond basic deliverables, you might be wondering how benefits are actually created and sustained over the entire life cycle of a program. Let's dive into how benefits are born, nurtured, and harvested in the business world. According to the official study guide, benefits realization is the practice of ensuring that the outcomes generated by program components are translated into measurable value for the organization and its stakeholders. In very simple words, benefits realization means making sure that the fancy new thing we built is actually used by people in a way that makes their lives easier, makes the business more profitable, or saves valuable time. Think of it like buying a high-end expensive espresso machine for your kitchen. If you leave it sitting in its cardboard box in the garage, you spent money but got zero benefit. But if you unbox it, learn how to grind the beans, and make a fresh, delicious cup of coffee every single morning, you are finally realizing the true benefit of that purchase. Let me share a quick story with you. Years ago, I managed a software rollout program for a massive hospital network. We spent millions installing state-of-the-art medical charting software. But guess what? The nurses hated it because it was too complex. So they went back to writing notes on paper charts. We had outputs but zero benefits. We had to pause, redesign the training, and coach the staff until the software actually reduced their paperwork time from hours to minutes. That is when real benefits realization happened. Stay with me for a moment, because mastering this shift from outputs to outcomes is your secret weapon for the PGMP exam. Now watch how this connects directly to the different phases of value, both hard numbers and soft benefits. The official study guide states that program value encompasses both tangible elements such as increased revenue and reduced cost, and intangible elements such as enhanced brand reputation, improved employee morale, and customer loyalty. In very simple words, tangible value is money you can actually count in your bank account, while intangible value is the good feeling, trust, and reputation that keeps customers coming back to you over and over again. Think of it like running a popular local bakery. The cash register ringing up daily sales of fresh pastries is your tangible value. But the warm smile of the baker, the cozy smell floating down the street, and the loyal regulars who say your shop feels like home, that is your intangible value. You need both to survive and thrive. Think of it like this. I once worked with a financial services client who merged two massive customer service departments. On paper, the tangible value was saving $2 million in operational overhead. But the intangible value was an immediate spike in customer trust because callers stopped getting bounced around between angry agents. When both tangible and intangible values work together, the program becomes unstoppable. So now that we've mastered how to balance hard cash and soft reputation, You might be wondering how stakeholder perspectives shape what is actually considered valuable. Let's talk about the human side of value, because value is always in the eye of the beholder. According to the official study guide, stakeholder value perceptions vary significantly based on their unique interests, priorities, and roles within or outside the program ecosystem. In very simple words, what looks like an amazing victory to the chief financial officer might look like extra paperwork to the frontline workers, which means value means different things to different people. Think of it like planning a family vacation to a tropical beach resort. To the parents, the value of the trip is relaxing by the pool and staying within the household budget. To the teenagers, the value is fast Wi-Fi and late night pizza parties. To the toddlers, the value is building sandcastles and eating ice cream. If you only focus on the budget and ignore the Wi-Fi or ice cream, someone in the family is going to be very unhappy. Let me give you a workplace example. I managed an enterprise resource planning program where executive leaders cared only about quarterly cost savings, while the local branch managers cared only about system stability so their daily shipping didn't stop. We had to tailor our value reporting so the executives saw their financial savings and the managers saw their zero downtime shipping guarantees. Everyone needs to see their own definition of value fulfilled. Let's explore how we safeguard program value when the ground starts shaking beneath our feet. The official study guide emphasizes that value management is an ongoing, iterative process of aligning program objectives with shifting strategic goals and external environmental changes throughout the program lifecycle. In very simple words, value management is just like adjusting the sails on a sailboat when the wind changes direction in the middle of the ocean. You don't keep sailing straight into a violent storm just because that was your original plan on the map. You adjust your course so you still reach the safe harbor safely. Think of it like this. I remember leading a digital banking program back when a major sudden regulatory change wiped out half of our planned fee structures overnight. If we had rigidly kept building our original features, we would have delivered a product that nobody was legally allowed to use. We used our value management framework to pivot the program scope toward high-yield savings products that complied with the new laws. Because we adapted, the program delivered even higher financial value than originally projected. Don't worry, we'll take it slow and look at how these adaptive strategies protect your investments. We have arrived at the final stretch of our journey on the anatomy of value. And let's tie it all together with a winning exam strategy. The official study guide highlights that successful program managers must master the continuous tracking of benefits, stakeholder value alignment, and strategic adaptation to pass rigorous evaluations and lead enterprise success. In very simple words, this means whenever you see an exam scenario question asking what a program manager should do when a project runs into trouble or executive priorities shift, your answer should always point back to protecting the ultimate business benefits and strategic value, rather than just worrying about local schedule delays or budget ticks. Think of it like playing chess. A beginner piece player worries only about saving the single pawn right in front of them, while a grandmaster program manager focuses on protecting the king and winning the entire match. I always remind my live class students on exam day, look for options that mention benefits realization, stakeholder alignment, and strategic value, because those are almost always the correct PMI approved mindset choices.